Crouse.
I mentioned in the introduction that your first movie was the Dennis Hopper movie, the last movie, confusingly enough. Tell me a little bit about that, because that was kind of a wild production. Do you recall details?
Kind of a wild.
Yeah.
Insane. Dennis had just had one of the best films I ever saw, The Easy Rider, and he was given $1 million and he went off to Peru and blew up his brain. It was an experience.
Yeah. Now, how did you get involved? Were you traveling in the same circle, or?
No, a friend of mine was on a plane with him, and it turned out he liked Bobby McGee enough to he flew me out there to California, and then asked me if I would like to go down and do the music for his film. I ended up being a stunt rider in it because one of the stuntmen got so mad at Dennis that he quit, and they didn't have anybody else that could ride a horse. So I got to be in the film more than I was supposed to.
Right. Had you at that point ever considered a film career? Or
No. It was all I could do to get up on stage and sing my own songs. But I enjoyed it and came to really appreciate the art of acting. You know, I didn't think of it as a very creative thing when I went into it. It probably wasn't from my point of view, but I come to appreciate it a lot, and I probably got that because I got to work with so many great directors like Sam and like Martin Scorsese and
John Sayles,
Alan Rudolph, John Sayles, and I'm trying to think who did Trouble in Mind and
Alan Rudolph, wasn't it?
Alan Rudolph, he did two of the best for me films that I was in.
Well, there was a point though at which, after an enormous amount of success in film, that you announced your retirement in about 1979, something like that.
That sounds like it corresponds with the Nicaraguan Revolution.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, it also kind of corresponds for the timeline anyway. Corresponds with you being asked to test to play Superman, and this is
Superman.
And
I'm glad I have my overcoat on. No way.
I would love to see it. If it really existed, I would have loved to have seen that.
I never heard that.
No?
That shows how crazy it is in Hollywood.
Yeah.
You know,
well, okay, the other thing, and this probably isn't true either, that you were the first or second choice to play Rambo.
Rambo?
Well, here's what it says. This is pulled off the internet. It says that you were one of the first choices to play Rambo because the producers were hoping to get Sam Peckinpah to direct it. And they thought if they brought you in as the star, that Sam would come along as kind of a package deal.
Sam needed me. That's
No. But so if you know, after Nicaragua, what made you come back and get back into film then?
Well, for a while there, nobody was asking me to do any films.
Right.
After Nicaragua and some things in Russia and places like that, but after about 5 years, they started doing it. Asking me if I'd play, and fortunately, it was with some people like John Sayles, God, I can't think of who are the two names? English.
Alan Rudolph.
No. Lisa. Who directed? I can't even think of that now. Merchant Ivory. Merchant Ivory.
Oh, Merchant Ivory. Yeah, right.
James Ivory was. I got to work with, and I've been real lucky that way.
Well, you've been. It's an interesting career because you've avoided being typecast. You've avoided doing that because for every Merchant Ivory film that you would make, there's something like Lone Star where you're playing a bad guy, and this is there's a great probably isn't true either. Now there's a great line in here that describes you as having the face of a soft-spoken menace with a cobra smile. That's a pretty good line to describe the character in Lone Star.
Yeah, how can you lose with an introduction? Cobra smile.
Cobra smile.
Work on that.
But have you? I mean, is it just sort of an artistic restlessness that prevents you from being typecast and then looking at different things, or is it just the parts that you're offered, or how does it work for you?
I've had the best success in just treating the roles as honestly as I could,
right.
And if it's something that I could imagine myself doing, even like in Lone Star, to be. I remember asking John Sayles when he asked me to do it. I said, I really would love to do this, but I want to know why you picked me to be this guy who it's everything I tell my kids not to do. and I forget what his answer was. I think he got the idea of using me from a film I did called Pharaoh's Army,
right.
And Robbie Henson did it. And it turned out John Sayles edited it.
Right.
And I think the character in there gave him an idea that I was unpleasant looking.
Right. Well, John Sayles.
Richard Crouse.